Hey everybody, this is Sherry with CPR Craft Pray Repeat, and I'm here today with some more Christmas tags, and I'm using images from Imagine That Digistamp. Now, no, I did not color them because I don't color that good. Those I printed out on my off my printer. Now, the ones I'm holding in my hand, I colored myself. Those ones are the colored images that come in her kit or in her set when you purchase the images. Now, those are two different sets. The reindeer is one set called the red-nosed reindeer, and the other one is, I believe, gingerbread scene. But I will make sure that I put a link in the description box for both of them. So what I did there was cut my piece of paper in half, and now I'm trimming it down to where I get 4 by 5 1/4. Had I centered it, when I was getting it ready, I wouldn't be doing all this trimming. It'd be easy peasy lemon squeezy, and I'd be moving on. But seeing as how I didn't center it, I got to work on it a little bit there to get it right. I'm using an A2 size card base, so I have a little bit of a red border. And there it is, folks, our very first card done. Now, I wanted to show you these because a lot of people have been on my heart lately that are in pain, that want to craft, but have just not been able to craft. And I thought, okay, what is something that they could do that would be easy? So, we can use our cutter. We can use our die cuts. We can use our punches. Some people can fussy cut but don't have the tools to do the die cutting and whatnot. So these are some alternatives. And what I'm doing here is I'm just trimming or punching out the circle, and I had messed it up and made it kind of wonky. So I'm like, all right, how am I going to fix this? So I dig around and I find a green Bic marker. I get an extra or a scrap piece of paper, lay it on there, and I go around the edge of the entire circle in green, so it just has a green border. And as far as anybody knows, I did that on purpose. And and if anybody asks, you say, "Oh, I'm sure Sherry did that on purpose because she wouldn't have made that mistake," right? And it worked perfect, and it was just a Bic marker. It wasn't anything fancy. And so I used my circle punch for that. Now here I come in with my 3-inch scallop circle punch, and I'm just going to layer those two pieces together and use my ATG tape for that. And I go and I'm going to get a different punch for the second one because all I want is the little girl gingerbread, and I'm going to pop her up with a dimensional. So I just glue that straight down and then use a dimensional for the to and from. And you could do, like I showed there, you can add a back and make it so that you could pull it apart or lift it up, or you could just put a hole in it, put a ribbon or a string through it, and then hang it from a package and do the to and from on the back. Whatever works for you. So now we've completed 2 projects. Now we've got these four images left, and we're going to move on and we're going to make even more projects. Now this is the one where I am going to fussy cut these. Now, like I said, I normally fussy cut up against the edge, but to make this easier and less stressful and something you don't have to strain to do, leave yourself a little border and go around the edge. No big deal. And if it were to have been cut by a die, it would have been, it would have had that border anyways. If you have one of those scan and cuts, this would be a perfect time to use them. And I love how she's colored all of these images. What we want to do is we want to take this as just like we bought a store-bought tag, okay? We take that tag, and instead of just leaving it plain and ordinary, we jazz it up. We take it to the higher level, to the next level. And so that's what I'm doing with these. I'm just going to cut them out, and then I've got some tags that I had previously cut out, and that's what I'm going to use. Now, I have a tag die. You do not have to have a fancy tag die. Cut yourself a rectangle and trim off the two corners, and you've got the same thing that I have. And I wanted you to see that, those are, she does a whole bunch of different colored images. Those are the flamingos that I did a while back and used to make a Christmas card. So I'm going to use them, but I had printed them too big, so I'm going to have to go back and redo them. But so you'll see them soon. And here we go. I just got a red and green tag that I had in my stash. I'm going to pull out a piece of white scrap paper, and not using anything fancy. I'm just going to cut myself a little mound of snow, one for each of the images, so that it's so that they're not just plain. I just wanted them to have a little something. If you have glitter paper or you want to put snow text there, I mean, there's lots of ways you can jazz this up, guys. Don't just, don't just listen to me. I mean, you guys have some awesome ideas. Go with, what you can come up with. And so here I just use my dimensionals and I pop her up. And if you don't have a to and from tag or stamp, don't let that stop you. Get yourself a marker or a pen. Now I got these from Mama's Treasure, and her name here on YouTube is I Am Mama24, and she has two different sizes, a small and a large, and these little red and white and green and white dots. And I had to use the smaller ones for this one so that they would fit. But, you could put whatever you want there. You could have just, put some stickles or something on the hearts if you didn't have those. And I had a heck of a time with these glue dots. I don't know why. These ones are different than what I normally use. And they are so teeny weeny, 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 weeny little things that I don't know what the deal was. So I moved up to my normal ones. And then, of course, I had no trouble because I've used those in the past, last Christmas. And they, the glue dots hold them down perfect. And, you could go and you could, put some stickles over it or put some glossy accents on it to give it a little, pizzazz and to really, make it your own. Okay. And I just wrote my to and from. I'm going to put some 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch. No, that's not right. I'm telling you, I don't know why I forget that every time. It's a 1/4 inch scored tape. So all you have to do is pull it off and stick it directly on the back, and you've got it for a present. So now we've got 3 things made. So now I'm just going to cut another snowbank out of the rest of that piece of paper, and we're going to just go ahead and tape him down, and then I'm going to trim off the edges. If you wanted to have the same border, of course you could die cut it, but I just, I wanted this to be something that everybody could do. And Barbara Alexander she's, I know she's in pain, and I keep thinking, I know that she loves crafting, and I know it's just driving her crazy that she can't. And I thought, this is something Barbara could do. She could use her die cutting machine to cut these out, or even a punch, and she could make beautiful tags and very simple cards and still have gorgeous things to send out for the holidays. And so now we've got those 3 right there came from one set on the gingerbread, and there's also in the gingerbread there's a gingerbread house, and it's got the little gingerbread boy and girl out front. I mean, there's a lot in each of the sets, and I do have a coupon code. If you spend over $5, use the code Sherry15, and that gets you 15% off of your order. And I will make sure that I put it on the screen as well as in the description box, but it's just all caps, Sherry, SHERRY, and then 15, and you get 15% off. And and I mean, there are times when I can sit and take all day to make a card. But there are times, especially when I get sick or I've lost track of time and now we're getting too close to Christmas and I don't have enough time. This is a perfect example of something that you could do in that instance and make great projects. Really, I'm amazed at all of the stuff that she has, and whether I want to color it myself or use what she's already, prepared for me, it's all going to turn out great. So now we've done 4 projects, and now we're going to move on. I had to get my big shot out, and I'm going to run a die through, and I end up not having them on straight. So I left it in. I don't know why I left it in. I should have cut that out so y'all didn't have to be bored and watch me do it again. But live and learn. So Sarah, I just chucked that piece. And then I didn't cut the reindeer part right, and I left a piece off the side. So what I had to do was go down a size in the circle and recut the back. So, and I mean, that die worked perfect. It was one I got off the internet, guys. I can't tell you where. I honestly do not remember. But it's just, I've been waiting to use it, and I thought this would be perfect for like Christmas. Now here I am. I'm just trimming down the root off again and getting a little bit smaller, which I didn't want to have to cut off any of the reindeer, but because I trimmed it wrong the first time, I had no choice but to do that. And so I'm just going to get ready to put my pieces together, and there's that back piece. It's a beautiful backing, and it'd make a beautiful ornament. It'd make a beautiful topper to a gift bag. There's just tons of things you could use it for. And then I just put some dimensionals down, put that on top. Now I do go back and I do it off camera, but I put a backing, another one on the back so that it's more sturdy. And then the 2 in the front will go back there, and I just slide a piece of ribbon through, and it goes right through the hole that's already there. I don't have to make one. And I was going to, you see, I was getting ready to put the 2 in front, but I'm hoping to give these to somebody. And, I didn't know if it would be going to a kid or not. So I didn't want to put anything that might be a choking hazard. And so whoever I'm giving them to, I figure if they want to jazz them up, then, they can do that. In that way, it's, it's from them, and they did it to make it look so special, because all I'm doing is taking the basics of what I was given. So here I'm just cutting out again, fussy cutting around the image. And like I told you, it's so much easier if you leave a border, but normally I don't do that. But because I want to show people how simple and quick and easy these can be, I'm just going ahead and leaving that little tiny bit of a border there. And then I will go ahead and get my base card again, or my base again, which is just another one of those tags that I already had. I take a circle punch and I punch a circle into the tag so that I can bring my reindeer up through the hole. And then I just now I could have cut another piece of green and had it have the same little crisscross marks and whatnot. But what I did was just glue that red piece, the tag, with the deer. I glue it to the green piece, and then I just trim around it. And, not that many people are going to be interested in the back, really. I mean, it's kind of a bummer, but it's the truth. And so I just glue them together and cut them down, and I've got my last project. So we've got 1 card and 5 tags done in like less than 30 minutes. I hope you guys like this. I hope it gives you an incentive to go check out the digis at Imagine That Digistamp and find something really cool that either you can color or you can do like this and just use her images and just, you know, take them up a notch. Alright guys, thanks for visiting me today. And remember to practice your CPR. Craft, pray, repeat. Take care. Bye.